was picked. I had braids at that time. They were not braided. My hair was loose. My mother wore a kerchief. She took off the kerchief and put it on me. I don't know the reason why she did it. Either to make me look older. In that case, she succeeded because I was marched off to life. I have not heard from my parents. That was it. My papa was smart enough to say goodbye to us. My mother never said goodbye, nor did I say goodbye to them, to my sister and my niece and nephew. We were marched off. And we came, at first when we were marching in, we marched through a gate, which was made a steel gate, and on the top of it, it said in German, Arbeit macht frei. It means work makes you free. And as you came in more and more deeper into the camp, there was green grass. There was a band. By that time, it took hours until all these things happened. A band was playing on that green grass, and at first we said, oh, how great, how beautiful. And they thrived on lies. We were told that the elderly people and the children with the mothers went to a sort of rest place, and we were going to work, and we're going to help by working to supply them with food, which was not so. But this is what you were told. In other words, to make it easier for them.
We didn't know where we go, what is going to be. And then we still were together, all the family.
Was all the Jews of Lu kept together basically this whole time?
What is this?
Alle Juden van
Ja.
Leid zijn geweest samen.
Ja, alle Jiden zijn geweest samen. En een zwangere vrouw had men gelost in haar heim.
A woman which was
pregnant. Pregnant woman, they left home.
They left home.
Ja. En we zijn maar omgekeerd naar Auschwitz. We saw that they are.
Then we came to Auschwitz.
Right.
And then going down from the train, then they divided. The older people, the women separate, and the older men separate, and the children, little children separate. But young women, they kept children. They want the young woman to live. But my sister-in-law took from his sister the baby, and she cried very much, and she didn't want to give the baby. She said, give that an old woman, she's going, because she was a few days before, she know what is going on there.
And when we arrived to Auschwitz, and we went out from the train, people came and they saw me. I was still young, and they saw me with the baby in the hand, and they start to yell, give away the baby, give away the baby. I didn't want to give away the baby. But near me stand an old lady, a neighbor of mine, and when she heard give away the baby, for our older people, she grabbed my child. In a minute, I turned around, she wasn't there. They pushed me right, they pushed her left, and that was the end of that. Now I was in Auschwitz in a camp, and all of a sudden I met my husband there. He came from somewhere else, and he was in another place, but the same camp, but another room where just men was. I was with the woman, and he was where the men was. And I didn't eat, I didn't want to eat, I cried a lot. So he came and he started to tell me I should eat because this is going to be sometime the end, and we're going to be free, and we're going to get together. And I cried that I haven't got the baby, and he said we're going to have another baby. And then they took away all the men from there. And I was there in the camp, and all of a sudden I found Esti, my sister, and my two cousins.
They took the women separate, the men separate, the younger people. We came with the parents, and when Barry came, my brother, and my parents, and at the same time came cousins of ours, each two sisters. And there came those people who was already a long time in Auschwitz. They knew what's going on, so they started to say the younger people who can go to work, they should go on the other side. And my mother said to me, you go with the two cousins who they were older than me. And I didn't want to go, but she pushed me. And I had a smaller sister, so she took the sister and she went in the left side. And I went with those cousins and saw myself inside a camp with all women, no hair, just some dresses done. We didn't even recognize one another. I was terrible. We came there, they took us, they took off all our hair, they took all our clothes, they gave us some, I don't know, prison clothes, that's all. And it was just terrible. The food was uneatable, and you couldn't recognize one another. People was looking to shave the hair, and it looks just, and the whole thing was there terrible. We didn't work. They took us to like big stones to put from one place to another. But just to go and come, and then every day they took us out to count the people. But you look just not to see those SS people, but it was terrible. He was beating people. I didn't get beat, but I was trying not to show my face near them. After 6 months, they started to send people to labor camp. So we went to, but before we went to a labor camp, they took a lot of people to send. And one time was 100 people too many. So they took those 100 people and we was between them. Dorka and our cousin and me, they wanted to send us to a crematorium, 100 people too many. But there was a young SS woman, and she said she didn't want we should go, so she stopped near the, to go in, the brana, how you say, the kopu, near the door to go in. She stopped and she started to call there and here, and she said, young people, we can use them to work and here and there. The end of it, they sent us back, and he said, the next thing we send you to a labor camp. But the next thing, we was all over, they shouldn't find us, but we was afraid. But anyway, they sent us to a labor camp. We was near in Czechoslovakia, in the Sudeten, near Teplichanov.
In Auschwitz, the first thing, it was a doctor, Mengele. Everybody knows the name Mengele, a doctor, a Nazi doctor. And they look at the people, and they said, right, left, right, left, right. They took to the labor camps, and left, they took to the gas camps, the gassed or dead. They said to the people, go in to make a bath. But it was gas, not a bath, it wasn't come water, it was come gas, and all people they killed. And then they took dead people to put it in crematoriums, in the crematoriums.